welcome to our new state archives here in Pennsylvania. I'm Andrea Lowry, the Executive Director for the Pennsylvania Historical Museum Commission, and I'm so pleased that you all are here to celebrate this momentous occasion with us. As the state's history agency, we like to say we are in the forever business. For the Commonwealth, the State Archives serves as our collective memory. Here you will find permanently valuable collections, including documents, maps, and photographs. We hold records valuable to the state and to Pennsylvanians. Everything from William Penn's charter to the first responder notes from September 11th about Flight 93. We hold documents that tell stories of Pennsylvanians and provide context for today. And in this building, we safeguard records that are used to shape our future. This building is a vital part of state government. Many of the documents held here protect the rights of Pennsylvania and its residents and have real-world applications in the present. For example, when we were faced with the pandemic, the State Archives was immediately contacted by the Department of Health to comb through our holdings and provide information about how the state had managed the outbreak of the Spanish flu in 1918. They looked to those records to help develop approaches to the public health crisis we were facing in 2020. Every day, veterans reach out to us to help document their military service to allow them to receive benefits. And because Pennsylvania was a gateway for so many Americans, millions visit each year, often virtually, looking for information about their families and their personal histories. Because we need to protect these records forever, we are standing in a building designed not only for the needs of today, but for tomorrow and for future generations of Pennsylvanians. We work in an increasingly digital world, and as you all know, technology, programs, and platforms are constantly changing. This new archives is designed to process and store both physical and digital records, protecting them and ensuring that they remain permanently accessible regardless of their format. There are too many people involved in this project to thank everyone individually for this wonderful building, but I would like to call out a few. First, thank you to our state archivist, David Carmichael, who provided the leadership and vision to ensure that we were designing an archives building that will stand the test of time. I would like to thank Paul Newhouse of HGA and Daniel Vodzak of Ateta for this beautiful design. It's a building worthy of the treasures that it holds. And I would like to thank our PHMC project architect, Lou McCrory, for ensuring that PHMC's needs were met so elegantly. For those of you who haven't had the opportunity yet to tour this building, we invite you to see the archives following this ceremony. And of course, this project couldn't have happened without the generous support of the state legislature and the support of the governor's office. And we're thrilled to have Governor Josh Shapiro here with us to celebrate today. I'd also like to take a moment to thank our commissioners, several of whom are in attendance. I would especially like to thank our current chair, Haley Haldeman, and our previous chairs, Nancy Moses and Andy Masick. And I would be remiss if I didn't thank the staff of the State Archives, who spent 3 years preparing the 250 million archival documents for this move, making sure that they arrived safely and housing them on the 34 miles of shelving in this building. Lastly, I would like to thank the Department of General Services for their incredible efforts throughout the design and construction process. A special thank you is due to DGS architect Ron Metzler, who worked within Commonwealth rules and outside of the box to make sure this project went ahead. And with that, I would like to introduce the Secretary of DGS, Reggie McNeil.
I'm Reggie McNeil. I'm the DGS Secretary. I'm excited to be here today celebrating the opening of the Commonwealth's new Archives building. I'd like to thank Andrea Lowry and the Pennsylvania Historical and Museum Commission for their partnership on this project, and Governor Josh Shapiro and his office for their leadership and support. The State Archives building is truly a transformative project, and I am extremely impressed with the work that our team at DGS has done to construct a space that supports the near and the long-term needs of our colleagues at PHMC. Ensuring the preservation of the Commonwealth's history is crucial for our future. The enhancements provided by the new State Archives building in safeguarding our records are invaluable. And some of those features include this 146,000 square foot space. It nearly doubles the space available at the previous site. Temperature and humidity controls that protect original documents, computerized high-density shelving systems that allow the PHMC to store more records within a smaller building footprint. Earlier, we have walked through the building and we looked at some of the systems that protect these documents, like our fire detection systems, to minimize the records damage in the unlikely event of a fire. And additionally, the design and construction of the archives building also incorporates several sustainability measures that will promote the PHMC's preservation efforts. DGS's Capital Programs Office spearheaded the design and construction of this new building, and I commend them for their work. Thank you to Deputy Secretary Greg Kirk for leading this industrial team in the development of this beautiful facility. And last but certainly not least, I want to highlight the participation of our small diverse businesses on this project, as the Commonwealth has been working diligently to widen the gate of opportunity to state contracts for them. The total facility cost was $75 million, and more than $22 million, around 30% of that, went to the small diverse business community. I'd like to give a special shout out to DGS's Bureau of Diversity, Inclusion, and Small Business Opportunities for guiding the Commonwealth on inclusive procurements, and to the design and construction companies for their commitment to our small business community. Thank you to the Vieta Group, Mascaro Construction, the Fairfield Company, and J.R. Reynolds. The new State Archives building is a testament to the skill and collaboration of Commonwealth agencies, and I thank you all for joining us today in celebration of its official opening. I will now turn things over to Governor Josh Shapiro.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Well, good morning. This is, I'm going to get in trouble saying this, but I think this is the coolest building in state government. I have to tell you, it is truly amazing, and I loved the brief tour I had, and I'm going to be sneaking over here, Andrea, to go through those old maps and some of the old pictures and spending some time learning more about the history of our great Commonwealth. I want to begin by thanking some of our elected leaders who are here with us today. First, Mayor Wanda Williams, thank you for being such an amazing host to such a significant portion of our state government. We appreciate your leadership here in Harrisburg. I'm proud to be your constituent, so thank you for your work. And Andrea made this comment before. The investment in this facility is a result of tremendous work of my predecessor, Governor Tom Wolf, and I thank him very much for his strong leadership and vision, along with a bipartisan group of lawmakers who came together to make sure the resources were here to build this incredible building. And so I want to thank three of those leaders who are here with us today: Representative Patty Kim, Representative Dave Madsen, and Senator John DeSanto. We thank you all for being with us this morning. And of course, a special thanks to Secretary McNeil. He's having a big week. He put that 20-foot Christmas tree in the Capitol, which looked beautiful the other day. And now we're opening up this incredible building. I'm just grateful for your leadership and those at DGS. Y'all do a great job, and I thank you for that. I also want to recognize the folks from the Pennsylvania Historical and Museum Commission. Their chair, Haley Haldeman, we appreciate your leadership, your new leadership, very much, and their executive director, Andrea Lowry. Andrea gives me books to read about the history of Pennsylvania. I just finished my William Penn book. I'm on to the next one, and she is a great source of knowledge if you want to know what book to read, what movie to watch, or what part of Pennsylvania to visit to get some of our history. I want to say, Andrea, to you and your team, your hustle made today happen. Your vision, your determination to get this built made it happen, and we're really grateful to you. So thank you very, very much, and I couldn't be more excited to be here today to celebrate this grand opening. My wife, the First Lady of the Commonwealth, Lori, has taken a special interest in these archives. I think y'all are wondering, why does the First Lady keep showing up here? But one of the things that we care deeply about is figuring out a way to open up more people's eyes across Pennsylvania to our rich history and to show them things that oftentimes they don't have the chance to see or really had been hidden in the archives that were not particularly accessible. When our family first toured the governor's residence, my wife and I wanted to make sure that we were honoring the rich heritage of the Commonwealth in the new home that we were privileged to temporarily live in. And so Lori and I worked with the archivist at the State Museum to bring new artifacts and artwork to display across the residence for more and more people to have the chance to see. From watercolors depicting all 67 counties to a sculpture of a young Ben Franklin. And just this week, state archivists helped us unearth long forgotten photos of past governors celebrating the holidays at the residence. I want you to know that I came up with that idea about 1 o'clock in the morning and drove Lori nuts when I said, we've got to find these pictures and we've got to display them. I want people to see how other first families celebrated the holidays, of course, around Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa time, around the New Year. And I said, don't worry, the folks at the State Museum, they will find this. And they found it, and those pictures are now on display at the governor's residence as a testament to our history and a recognition of those who came before us. The work you do preserves these timeless treasures that tell the story of Pennsylvania. In my office at the residence, there's also a copy of the original skull map given to the Penn family by King George III, first laying out the boundaries of our great Commonwealth back in 1770. Thanks to the work that's done by so many here, we've been able to bring new life to these pieces of history hidden in our archives. And this is just the beginning. I want all Pennsylvanians, and Pennsylvanians for generations to come, to appreciate the important work that is done here and to be able to rediscover our history and, most importantly, to learn from it. Because I firmly believe that our understanding of our history is key to determining our path forward. History, of course, is the study of where we've been, but it's also a roadmap for the future. A roadmap and sometimes a cautionary tale. From the original copy of the Act for the Gradual Abolition of Slavery, passed in 1780 by the General Assembly, the first legislative act passed anywhere in our country to begin the process of abolishing slavery, to more recent records, and Andrea was referring to some of these, like the records of the Nuclear Regulatory Commission during the 3 Mile Island incident, and the minute-by-minute field notes from State Police Commissioner Colonel Paul Ivanko, who was in charge of our state law enforcement response after Flight 93 crashed in Shanksville on 9/11. There's millions of artifacts that tell our collective story, preserved here in these beautiful state archives. We need to preserve them for ourselves, for our children, and for our children's children. This new building, of course, is equipped with state-of-the-art preservation tools and rooms for our most valuable records to protect them for coming generations. It was told to me on our tour that we are 50% full. That means we've got a lot more room to grow with other historical documents. They're going to continue to tell that story for generations to come. We've got a high security vault to house our original state charter, which is just awesome to see, with new protections to prevent damages against natural disasters or environmental wear and tear. I asked our archivist to pull out what he thought was one of the coolest documents down there when we took a tour. And I saw our original state constitution. And I did note that Article 2 established the office of the governor. So now I know where that authority comes from. Pennsylvania history is obviously now safer here in this building. It's also more accessible than ever before to the good people of Harrisburg who live nearby and those who will travel miles and miles and miles to come visit this beautiful site. The first floor where we are here was designed as an open and inviting space where Pennsylvanians are welcome to come and learn about their story. I mean, just look at how beautiful this is, with a new research library, interactive touch screens where visitors can discover new artifacts and records, and really special conference rooms where we can train archivists and from all across the Commonwealth who want to learn more about preserving our documents and our history for counties and townships and other forms of government. We're committed to reminding Pennsylvanians that these archives aren't just here to protect our Commonwealth's treasures. They're here for people to use. They're here for people to experience. They're here for people to learn from. On top of all these efforts, we've built a new scanning lab that will help us continue the work of digitizing all of our archives. PHMC has already made significant progress, making over 22 million images of historical documents now available for all online. We're harnessing the latest technology to make it easier for the grad students to sift through our records during a late-night research session. and for the person looking to learn a little bit about their family history, and this is really cool. We have millions of birth and death and military records available to Pennsylvanians in partnership with Ancestry.com, and it is completely free for people to come and explore. We've maintained military records for Pennsylvanians who served in World War I, World War II, Korea, and Vietnam that are only available right here due to a terrible fire at the National Archives that destroyed millions of other personnel records, but you can still find them here in Pennsylvania. These records continue to be vitally important today. In fact, the Department of Military and Veterans Affairs relies on them to ensure veterans and their families receive the benefits that they deserve, that they have earned. All across our agencies, we continue to lean on historical documents to inform the way we serve Pennsylvanians today. Let me give you another example. Andrea shared one before. Like last year, when high-path avian influenza spread to Pennsylvania flocks for the first time in decades, our Department of Agriculture turned to our state archives to review Pennsylvania's past responses to animal public health crises and helped us create a successful game plan that dramatically reduced the spread of avian flu and protected farmers who were impacted and protected their flocks. We are learning from our history, and we will continue to do so, and do so in a state-of-the-art facility like this. Because understand, events in our history don't remain static stories that are just simply isolated in time. Instead, they serve as the foundation for progress that we use to build a better future for all here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. I hope that today inspires more Pennsylvanians to do the same. Whether you're a county historian, a local archivist, or you're just interested in history, or you're walking by on the streets of Harrisburg, I want you to come here and experience this beautiful building, experience our history, and experience the greatness of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And while you're here experiencing that, you'll probably find me wandering around looking at cool old maps. And so with that, it's really my honor to invite this group up here, where I've been given the honor of opening up this facility officially by cutting this ribbon, and then we'll be happy to come back and take some questions from the media. Okay, go ahead.
1, 2, 3.
There we go.